Hey everybody, well, thank you all for tuning in. We have a great show for you tonight. I am still your host, Xavia Fox.
What's happening, y'all? It is so nice to be back.
So the first question is Okara's question. His question and my question are somewhat similar, but we're going to do mine last. Are black men and women adversaries? Is that why our relationships don't work? Are we adversaries? Do we even like each other? Because he rolling his eyes like that most of the time.
All right, the reason why that is actually my question is it's not just about being adversaries, it's more or less a love-hate type of dynamic that I think that we have. For instance, when I talk to women, they have a lot of complaints about men. One of them being they want to be hoes. Other men, they're not gentlemen. Plus, a lot of them are not on what they need to be on. They don't come correctly though. So, but while they have that, at the same time, they remain loyal to black men for the most part. While at the same time, black men not being loyal to them. So that part I don't understand. If we're not loyal to you, why would you be loyal to us? On the flip of that, you have men who complain about women as well. One of the complaints is they too independent, all other kinds of things. But at the same time, they say that they love them, while at the same time not always treat them like somebody you love. So they might be hoes or they might be, disrespectful to them, but they at the same time they say that they love. So that's not a way that most people would say you show love. So I think that going into it, it seems that men and women, it's like when they start dating, it's kind of like two people who can't stand each other trying to make a truce. So all the while you're trying to get a connection, you're still really suspicious of them. And so every little thing that they do, you see it as a sign of them being on some bull, when it just might be a simple situation. So that's the reason why I say that. Say what you want to say. Say what you got to say.
Well, for one, men don't listen. Well, I just think that, when women have a problem.
Say something.
Don't
just say something.
Just say you don't listen.
I'm just saying y'all.
I'm listening to you.
It's a conflict because women handle things differently and men handle things differently. And I think a lot, for women, y'all can contest to this, where you constantly got to keep saying the same thing over and over and over and over again to the same person. They just, I don't know why. What's up?
Well, I'm going to say I don't do that. And I believe that, now I'm not saying that I've never done it, because sometimes y'all not really talking about nothing, just like we're not talking about it. So we tend to look off weird. And so, but at the same time, when we learn to know each other, as I'm assuming you're talking about in a relationship or just period.
Mostly relationships when I say that.
Well, when you get to, first we have to get to know each other. Most of the time we're getting to know each other sexually first, if it's a forceful guy who comes to a woman and wants to be with her first, sexually, before knowing her, because most of the time that's what we do. And we learn to do this when we're younger, because you see it out on the street all the time. You go to school, guys are talking about the basketball players, they got 4, 5 women, they got this football player. That's what happens. But once you get to know your woman, I believe that we all can at least try to get to know. And then once we get that and learn that, we'll listen to what you have to say. If it's in person, if it's important.
That's true, but it's good to know her before. Men say they want to take it slow and everything, but you want to get in the hands fast. Won't you get to know her first?
That's what I was saying. Normally we want to get in the pants first. But it depends on who you are that it doesn't work out. That's it. If you know how to say the right things at the right time, you can get whatever you want. A woman wants to be treated respectfully at the same time, we want to give what we want. If we know what to say to you the right way, we're going to give what we want. That's what I do.
I think that we do definitely have a love-hate relationship. We hate to love each other and we love to hate each other. I think that I did a question on my page one day, and it was actually 2 days. The first day I asked the men what were black women doing right, and they hopped right in and they started to say what black women were doing right. So, you know, men do look at us as doing things right, yet they will treat us, or sometimes you will hear them say things that make it seem as if they don't notice what we're doing. On the other hand, the next day I asked the women what the black men were doing right, and I'm used to getting 100 and more comments on my page, and I got
Crickets.
one. You know, I got one.
Which wasn't fair, I don't think.
And
I'm serious. I mean, I really don't think that was fair.
but it wasn't
It's not.
fair.
I mean, we should look at what.
Well, you know, my thing is, as you say, women stick with the black men, but yet we can't come up with anything they're doing right. So, isn't it like a love-hate? We like love to hate you, but hate to love you? Because, I mean...
What is it that we're not doing right? What is it? What is it that
Well,
we're
look.
not doing right?
This is only a 3-hour tape.
Okay.
You can't come up with
Maybe sex. Okay.
Listen,
That's what you said before.
That's not right.
That's the only thing they doing right is sex, she said.
Take that finger over this.
Sometimes.
honestly, you can't really sit there and say that we are doing a whole lot right. Well, you could say that there are some, but there aren't enough. I mean, you could ask the women right now in here to raise their hand who's single and who has a problem finding a man that they feel like meets them at the same place as far as what they want. And I bet if you look around, I say at least 7 is probably raise their hand. Y'all ain't got to. Sure. But I mean, and the other thing I always ask any guy is how many of your friends would you set up with a woman who you truly care for and you truly wanted the best for?
You say how many?
How many of your friends would you set up a woman that you knew or that you loved, that you
Tell
truly
your
cared
sister,
for,
your mother,
that
how
you
many
truly cared for
boys
and you
you
truly
got?
wanted the best for?
Because men always say,
And you see how long, wait, and you see how long it's taking. That's something you have to really think
Because
about.
I don't know.
You don't have any.
I did the
that you-
survey.
Well, see, I have opinions like
You know what? But there are good men, because as you probably saw from the promo slide, if you were watching it, I also have a matchmaking service, and there are some good guys. I have several of them in the matchmaking service. They're guys that want relationships, you know, that are ready to settle down and not play games. But you know, the thing about it is, it's funny because it's like the guys that want relationships that are ready to settle down don't seem to be the guys that women are like really drawn to for some reason. You know, it's like, I don't know, you know, it's like,
what's wrong with them?
this one guy comes to mind. I mean, it's really about, honestly, it's really, okay, I'm just gonna say for me. For me, I'm hung up on height, okay? So, you know, if he's not at least 6'1", then I just am not really attracted.
And just thinking all women thought that way.
And
And you got a bunch of single men out here that are good men, but because they're short, they're not going to get that good quality.
And you know what? And a lot of guys that were, you know, 5'8", 5'9", they would tell me, you know, you gonna miss out on a good man because you want blah blah blah. You know, as if good men don't come 6'1" and taller. You know. But anyway, but I found what I was looking for. However, as I look at the men in the matchmaking service, I know one, he fits most women's description, except most women are looking for a man that's a 7 or above, and he's just not that.
What do you mean?
His looks.
He's not the most attractive guy.
Like a 3 or 4?
And he would probably be that one
And he is
that will
a great
treat
guy.
you like a queen.
And I believe that he's intelligent and actually he's tall, but he's just not, he's a little bit brown and he's just not extreme, but he is a great guy. You know, so.
But not only that, a lot of them want to change and, you know, they want to be, I guess, they want to be in a relationship after so long of having, you know, doing it in doggish ways, whatever. The problem is sometimes they don't change in the process or conform in the process of, you know, just say if they're, in other words, they got to change. If they want a good woman, I mean, you got to change for the cause. You can't just.
And you got to change.
No, I'm saying the man. No, I'm saying the man that's ready. I'm talking about a man that she's saying.
But you didn't say
that a man.
that. You said he
I'm
had to
piggybacking off
change.
what you're saying. So I'm saying is
That's
some
one
men
problem
want.
right there.
Some men want.
Stole that.
Some men want a good woman, but they haven't changed yet to get that good woman. If you want a 10, you gotta do 10
Okay, so
things.
how
You
are we
gotta
to know?
do 10. You still want.
Holistic Harmony Inc. is a solution-focused therapy agency with 100% satisfaction in building passionate, quality relationships. We offer individual, couples, and group sessions with licensed therapists. No topic is off limits because we believe in real talk. Contact us today to schedule your appointment at 773-420-9572. Visit us on the web at holistichearmonyinc.biz. We don't counsel you, we cultivate you.
If you've ever dreamed of becoming an entrepreneur and don't know where to start, The Entrepreneur Within You by Julie Holloway is a must-read. Holloway and 17 co-authors share advice and inspiration that can save you from serious business blunders. So purchase your copy today on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. The Entrepreneur Within You. Empowering, equipping, inspiring.
Can I say something? A man should never have to change for a woman. If he changes for a woman, he wants to change because of her, not for her.
I'm talking about his ways. No,
Same thing.
He doesn't have to change his
If
ways.
he's a doggish man, he
And
do
some
needs
women
to
are looking
change.
for that dog. They want that dog.
He do needs to change.
You know what I'm saying? Some people want that. A man should never have to change, and a woman should never have to change who she is for a man.
You change.
Because
So what?
I changed for me.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying, see, y'all missing the whole point. She's saying some man wants a relationship, but you cannot want a relationship, but you still in doggish mode.
He
That's
still
what I'm
has to
saying.
change for himself.
Right, he has to change for
He's
himself.
got to change for
That's
himself.
what he's changing for. I'm not saying for me.
I mean,
But I'm saying, oh my God.
I'm not saying
She's not.
I'm not saying that he has to change for that.
He got to change for himself or anybody. Well, he
He
got
doesn't have to
to change.
change at all.
He got to change for
No,
himself.
because there is a woman out there that would accept him as is, and if he wants to be with that woman, and that woman sees that that is a shortcoming, and she doesn't want to deal with him because of his shortcoming, if he wants to be with that woman, he will change for her.
Okay.
I just wanted to say something about the dog comment. She's saying that he can't find dates. He was never a dog.
Yeah, he's not.
He's never a
He's
dog.
not a dog.
If he can't get dates, listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
He just
If
is
you-
not.
If you a
He's
guy,
a nice guy.
if you a
He's
guy
just a seven.
and you are employed,
I'm just saying
and you want a
sometimes.
relationship and all of that, and you can't get a woman nowadays, then you are either a goofy or you are really unattractive. Because I'm telling you, it is tons. There's
No,
so
I'm
many
just
single
saying
women
that
out
was
there.
another way of looking
But I've
at it.
seen
That's
this-
all I was saying. That
But I've
sometimes
seen-
they're dogs that want to change and they haven't changed. That's all I'm saying.
But I've seen unattractive men as well as unattractive women with nice-looking men or vice versa. So I don't think it's about, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's us that put that look on each other. I mean, if you don't look, I mean, and it's the way you bring yourself. You can dress and make yourself look good. I mean, and if your teeth are messed up, you can get it fixed. If your hair, or you don't have hair, you can get some. So you can always improve your look. So it is not about how you look, it's how you present yourself to that person.
You know, that's another thing, as you talk about changing. I do agree with what you said about not changing for someone else, because the thing about a lot of women, and I hear it all the time, is how they wind up getting in these whole booty call situations, because they go into it agreeing to this setup where, okay, we're gonna get together and do what grown folks do, and you don't want a commitment right now, she probably wants a commitment. And sometimes the tables are turned, but most often, the woman truly wants a commitment, but she feels, matter of fact, I was talking to a lady just yesterday, she feels like if she could just get her foot in the door and show him what a good woman she is, then he will change his mind. I always call it auditioning for a role that does not exist. I'm gonna show you what a good woman I am. And he's like, she's a good woman, but not for me. That's not what I'm looking for. And then there's that anger and bitterness once he's like, okay, you knew what this was. I don't know how many women, he said, I knew what it was, but he was spending all this time with me and we was doing this, okay. Okay, so he was doing all that, but it was still under that same agreement. The agreement never changed.
To Akira's point about do we really like each other? I think it was kind of mentioned up here, but what I think overall, we don't, as men and women, we don't take time enough to really understand the opposite sex. And I mean the opposite sex as a whole in a general sense. And there's no way, I personally feel, that you can even begin to understand the person that you may intimately be seeking if you don't know the essence of one man and know the essence of man. I don't know if we don't necessarily like each other, I just don't think we really understand each other. And I think during the dating phase, we get jaded by so many unhealthy experiences that it's really hard to even want to know the opposite sex. I think we just we wing it, and based off what happens during that experience, that's how we label the opposite sex. And I mean, as far as do we like each other, I mean, we seek each other. I mean, we need each other. Regardless of whether we admit it or not, I think we need each other.
Can I just say something up to that? While you're talking about we need each other, it was just a couple of weeks ago, I watched this documentary on the black men moving over to Brazil because they're not looking for black women no more. So do y'all really need us?
But you know what?
Y'all marrying everybody. Everything moves.
Okay, so what happened is, what I think has happened with that kind of scenario is that's a percentage. You know what I'm saying? If you take a small percentage, and I don't even know what the percentage of those men are, but if you take a percentage and then you just zero in on that, I mean, one of the things that I hear all the time echoed is the fact that black men are seeking white women and this and that. Now, you can dissect the reason for that, but at the end of the day, if that's a small percentage, what we've done and conditioned in our mind is the fact that that's what the majority are doing. I know what I'm seeking. It ain't that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that there's other black men that's doing the same thing. So I would be curious to know what the percentages
are off though. I just read a study the other day that said 41% of black men are single, but still 70% of black women are single. So our percentages are totally off. So how is this balancing out?
Where are those statistics coming from? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
they come from a whole lot of
They're probably all jaded.
Why would they need to be jaded though? What would that benefit? Who would that benefit?
Who's doing it? Who's doing the research?
Oh, you know what? Next time I talk about.
Because I guarantee you, it's probably not us.
It might be. It might be us.
That's a valid question.
As far as
that's not a valid question. That means the population isn't available. Like if there's 41% single males and 71% single females, there may not be an available population of black men for us today, at least within our. They're in other places, jail, not in other places.